All right. What is this? I read my tongue. This is
went from the
how a broke Florida kid became an NBA star. How come I can't? Fuck it.
Scotty Barnes went from the trenches of Riviera Beach to putting up one of the most historic stat lines in Raptors history. He dropped 23 points, 25 rebounds, and 10 assists against Golden State, a triple-double that tied a franchise record. He's a two-time All-Star and the owner of a $270 million max extension, the largest in franchise history. And yet, on draft night, the basketball world said Toronto blew the pick on a guy who can't shoot. So how did a kid from the slums of Florida become an NBA star? Scotty Barnes was born on August 1st, 2001, in West Palm Beach, Florida. But he grew up in Riviera Beach, a small city where the crime rate was among the highest in the state, and drugs moved through every block. A bridge away from Palm Beach and its billionaire estates, a universe apart from any of it. His mother, Kathleen Wilkins, raised 4 children alone. She worked as a nursing assistant, a security officer, and at a call center, stacking late nights on early mornings to keep the lights on. They moved constantly. The parents fought before the divorce. Stability didn't exist in that household. Barnes later said his mother sacrificed everything she had so her kids could walk into school with confidence, even when there wasn't much to go around. Basketball wasn't a dream, it was survival. He played every night at the Salvation Army gym, running pickup against men in their 40s and 50s. No referees, winner stays on. He later described his childhood in one line: he was in the trenches, and you had to be tough to survive. The court was the one place the streets couldn't reach him. And the man who changed everything wasn't a scout or a coach at a powerhouse program.
On a professional level, like when you look out at the NBA, who would you say is an influence for you? Who is somebody you maybe modeled your game off of?
I would definitely say my stepfather, John Simpson.
He was an AAU coach from Queens, New York, named John Simpson, working for a food company in Florida and coaching youth basketball on the side. Simpson had quit coaching once before when work got busy, then discovered that a former player had been killed in a gang altercation. He blamed himself for walking away and swore he'd never leave again. Simpson watched Barnes play at the Salvation Army League and saw visions of Magic Johnson.
It would definitely be Magic. My dad, he always wanted me to watch Magic, look at like clips that he always done.
He invited him to play for his AAU team, the Wellington Wolves. The relationship grew fast. Simpson trained him on fundamentals, took him to movies and dinners, and gave him something he'd never had before: consistency. By 5th grade, Barnes moved in with the Simpson family in Wellington, a gated community that looked nothing like Riviera Beach. He wanted to ease the financial burden on his mother. Simpson's son, Jason, became his brother. The most revealing moment came early, when Simpson brought home chicken wings from Publix. Barnes ran to the table and grabbed every drumstick before anyone else could. He didn't know if there would be any left by the time he got to eat. Simpson had to tell him that in this house, he'd never have to worry about that again. For the first time in his life, Scotty Barnes had a foundation, and on top of it, he was about to build something nobody in Florida had ever seen. At Cardinal Newman High School, Barnes dominated from day one. As a freshman under coach Tavares Harris, he led the team to a 19-8 record and the regional semifinals. Harris said Barnes was doing things as a freshman that juniors and seniors couldn't do. Max Preps named him a freshman All-American. The trajectory was already clear, but the competition wasn't big enough yet.
I cannot lie, that hairstyle is not it. This hairstyle is not it.
The trajectory was already clear, but the competition wasn't big enough yet. He transferred to NSU University School in Fort Lauderdale and teamed up with Vernon Carey Jr., the nation's top-ranked junior. The pairing was devastating. Sophomore year, 36-2 record, the school's first ever Class 5A state championship, and the City of Palms Classic MVP after posting 15 points and 8 rebounds in the final. At Geico Nationals, he averaged 21.3 points and 9.7 rebounds, including a triple-double. Junior year, another state championship with a 27-5 record. this time carrying the load after Carey went down injured in the title game. Across 2 seasons at NSU, Barnes helped compile a 63-7 record with 2 state titles and 2 Geico Nationals appearances. Both national championship games ended the same way, losses to Montverde Academy.
Geico High School National Champions, Montverde, perfect!
As Canada stares down
Right,
economic
hit his
uncertainty,
ass, bro.
we're ready with a plan. Speeding up approvals, diversifying our trade, and bringing opportunity, good jobs, and growth home. That's how we protect Ontario.
Pack our things.
So some dinosaur just shows up and he's now part of the group. Cool.
The same program, the same heartbreak, twice. Barnes had a decision to make, and it would change the course of his career. When a Montverde coach approached Barnes at an EYBL camp, his answer was immediate. He didn't want to join them. He wanted to beat them. Then, at a USA basketball camp, he was assigned as Cade Cunningham's roommate. The two connected instantly, and Cunningham put Barnes on the phone with Montverde head coach Kevin Boyle. That call changed his mind. Senior year, Barnes, Cunningham, and Day'Ron Sharpe formed the backbone of one of the greatest high school teams ever assembled.
Wow.
A 25-0 record with an average margin of victory of 39 points.
25-0?
Nobody came close. Barnes won his second City of Palms Classic MVP and was selected as a McDonald's All-American, though COVID canceled the game before he could play in it. On the international stage, he was just as dominant.
Give me 3.
3 consecutive USA basketball gold medals. By the time he graduated, Barnes had won everywhere he'd played. 2 state titles, a perfect national season, 3 international golds, and the respect of every scout in the country. He committed to Florida State on October 14, 2019, and in one season, he created the most confusing award resume college basketball had ever seen. Under Leonard Hamilton, Barnes didn't follow the traditional star trajectory. He started some games and came off the bench in others. A deliberate coaching decision that confused the national media, but made perfect sense inside the program. Barnes wasn't there to score. He was there to do everything else.
But he's also strong enough to play inside, so I think that fits.
The results were unlike anything the ACC had seen.
Give me 3. Bang! Like, holy, he's too tough.
Barnes won Freshman of the Year with 53 votes, and Sixth Man of the Year with 39 votes. In the same season, the only player in the conference honored as both its best freshman.
Wait, hold up. Freshman of the Year, beating all the starters, and then Sixth Man of the Year. That's crazy.
And its best reserve simultaneously.
Best
named
reserve?
All ACC third team. He averaged 10.3 points, 4.0 rebounds, and 4.1 assists.
Holy
Numbers
shit.
that didn't jump off the page. But every coach who faced him understood what the box score couldn't capture. Playmaking, defensive switchability, court vision, and a basketball IQ that belonged in the NBA already.
Scotty Barnes, talking to Leonard Hamilton and watching tape, he's a mixture of Magic Johnson and Scottie Pippen.
Scouts were split. Some saw a franchise cornerstone who could guard every position and make everyone around him better. Others saw a player without a jumper, without a defined position, and without the scoring punch to justify a top 5 pick. The debate would rage all the way through draft night. Barnes declared after one season, and when the draft came, he walked into the most controversial pick of the entire draft.
The Raptors!
July 29th, 2021. The Toronto Raptors are on the clock at number 4. Every mock draft, every analyst, every fan expects Jalen Suggs. Masai Ujiri's front office had a different plan. They called Scotty Barnes' name, and the basketball world lost its mind. The backlash was instant. Draft Twitter called it a reach. Analysts questioned. The backlash was instant.
Raptors fans, when they saw their selecting Scotty Barnes over Jalen Suggs. I never seen this. I'm so happy we never got Jalen Suggs, though. I'm not even trolling.
Twitter called it a reach. Analysts questioned the fit. The Suggs versus Barnes comparison loop was born on the spot and would follow him for years.
Like, how surprised are you that Scotty Barnes goes here? I mean, I thought we were looking at Jalen Suggs.
But Toronto's reasoning was simple. They valued versatility, defensive switchability, and competitive wiring.
Who the fuck are these niggas?
Over a more polished offensive game.
What he might be able to bring to the table
and he does seem like a guy that fits well.
One detail from Ujiri's pre-draft process said everything. In a single interview, Barnes mentioned winning 34 times. He signed his rookie-scale contract on August 8, 2021. Before the draft, Barnes had gone hiking in Santa Barbara and FaceTimed his mother while staring at mansions in Montecito, pointing at houses and telling her one of them would be hers someday. The kid who grabbed drumsticks before anyone else could take them was now a top 5 NBA pick. The debate raged all summer.
I think Scottie Barnes is the top 3 prospect in the draft, right behind Suggs.
But Barnes only needed one season to silence every single doubter. And Scottie didn't ease into the NBA. He arrived. From opening night on October 20th, 2021, he looked like he belonged. Switching across every position in Nick Nurse's defensive system, pushing the ball in transition, and making reads that rookies aren't supposed to make. The positionless label that confused scouts in college suddenly made perfect sense in Toronto's switching scheme. He averaged 15.3 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists as a rookie, numbers that told half the story. The other half was the energy, the defensive versatility, and the way he made everyone around him play harder. On April 23, 2022, the NBA named him Rookie of the Year.
Scottie Barnes, the 2022 Kia NBA Rookie of the Year!
They say the future depends. That is fucking crazy, man. Like, Scottie Barnes, like, oof. I'm actually happy joining the Raptors, bro. I'm dead ass, bro. Like, that guy is generational. Generational.
Picked a great.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm ending after this. After this video.
First Raptor to win it since Vince Carter in 1999. Then the playoffs arrived, and so did the first gut punch. First round against Philadelphia, Barnes posted a double-double in his playoff debut, then sprained his left ankle in Game 1.
Steps right on the left foot of Scottie Barnes, but Van Vliet just fouled out.
He missed Games 2 and 3. Toronto lost in 6. The pattern that would define his early career was set. Brilliance followed by interruption. Impact cut short before it could fully bloom. The league had taken notice. And in the summer of 2022, the biggest trade rumor in the NBA would prove just how untouchable Scottie Barnes had already become. Kevin Durant requested a trade from Brooklyn.
Major breaking news out of the NBA where Kevin Durant has requested a trade from the Nets.
Every contender picked up the phone. Toronto called too, but with one condition that wasn't negotiable. Scottie Barnes was off the table. Reporting described him as a non-starter in any trade package the Nets proposed. 1 year into his career, the league already treated him less like a prospect and more like a franchise cornerstone you build around. On November 4th,
I like that. I've been seeing that, bro. The Raptors are building off of Scottie, bro. That's why I was kind of confused, but now they have BI, so it's like, I don't know, bro. There might be a duel.
He recorded his first career triple-double. 11 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists against Dallas.
Dallas by 7. Barnes, the initiator of just about everything right now.
The youngest player in Raptors history to do it. The flashes of a point forward who could control every dimension of a game were becoming harder to dismiss as potential. They were becoming proof. But the next 2 seasons were turbulent. Toronto was reshaping around him in real time. OG Anunoby traded to New York. Pascal Siakam sent to Indiana. Nick Nurse replaced by Darko Rajakovic. The veterans who had defined the Raptors' identity were leaving one by one. And the franchise was being rebuilt on Barnes' timeline, whether he was ready or not.
Raptors are entering a new era, okay? They're working around Scottie Barnes.
The roster was getting younger, the responsibility was getting heavier. And then, in February 2024, the league finally gave him the recognition he'd earned, only for the cruelest twist of his career to follow days later. On February 6th, Scottie Barnes was named an NBA All-Star, selected by Commissioner Adam Silver as an injury replacement.
For the first time in his career, Scottie Barnes is gonna be the All-Star!
The validation was real, so was the asterisk. He didn't get voted in by fans or coaches. He got called up because someone else got hurt. But for a kid who grew up playing pickup at a Salvation Army gym just to stay off the streets, standing on that stage meant everything. Then, on March 4th, weeks later, Barnes fractured the 3rd metacarpal in his left hand against Golden State.
His hand, let's see what happens here. I think just going.
Surgery followed. no timetable for return. The breakout season that was supposed to cement his status flipped overnight from "this is his moment" to "what if?" Impact followed by interruption. The same pattern, the same cruel timing. But Toronto had seen enough. In July 2024, Barnes signed a 5-year max extension worth approximately $225 million, with escalators pushing the total to $270 million.
Has signed a 5-year, $270 million extension. Wow.
The largest contract in Raptors history. The franchise didn't just believe in him, it anchored its entire future around him. Every dollar was a bet that the kid from Riviera Beach would become the franchise player they needed him to be. Now came the part where he had to prove the bet was right. Barnes came back from hand surgery for the 2024-25 season with something to prove. The max extension was signed. The roster had been reshaped around him. Anunoby and Siakam gone. Emmanuel quickly locked in on a 5-year, 107.
5 years? We have this nigga for 5 years? Holy fuck, bro. Oh my. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Emmanuel quickly has not been like, he's up here, bro, and he's performing like he's down here, bro. Makes no sense, bro. Come on, do better.
$55 million deal and a new coaching identity under Darko Rajakovic taking shape.
I'm looking forward to bring anything I can to help this team to continue to grow.
For the first time in his career, the Raptors weren't just featuring Barnes. They were being built entirely around him. He responded with the best individual season of his career. On December 3rd, 2024, he dropped a career-high 35 points against Indiana. Proof.
Oh my, yo, chat. You know I was there at this game? I was literally there at this game, bro. The game where he dropped his career high, I was at this game. It was crazy.
That he wasn't just a connector or a facilitator.
Sunday in Memphis, here's Scotty B with the 3.
He could take over games when it mattered. In February 2025, Toronto made its biggest move yet, trading for Brandon Ingram from New Orleans and extending him for 3 years and $120 million.
That's not enough for BI, but it's okay.
But maybe more exciting to be able to ink Brandon to a long-term extension here. Brandon wanted to be here.
The message from the front
I'm happy that Brandon wanted to be here. It's different if he doesn't. He did, so I'm happy about that.
Office was clear. Barnes wouldn't have to carry this alone. The franchise was building a 2-star foundation with him at the center of it. Then, in June 2025, the ground shifted again. Toronto fired Masai Ujiri, the executive who made the stunning pick at number 4.
And Masai Ujiri is out as vice president and chairman of the Toronto Raptors.
Bobby Webster was elevated to full control of basketball operations. The championship-era leadership was gone, but Barnes's max contract remained, and so did the expectation that came with it. The pick had outlived the man who made it. The 2025-26 season became his coronation. On December 28, 2025 against Golden State, Barnes delivered the signature performance of his young career. 23 points, 25 rebounds tying the franchise record, and 10 assists in an overtime victory.
Wow.
Ties a career high for rebounds in a quarter.
Come on!
A historic triple-double that buried every remaining question about his ceiling. Then, on February 1st, 2026, he was named to the All-Star team again, this time as a coach-selected reserve.
Scotty Barnes, 2-time All-Star. How does that sound? Sounds good. You know, just happy we got a win tonight.
The kid from the trenches of Riviera Beach was now the face of an entire franchise. And at 24 years old, the story is still just getting started. And remember, they said Toronto blew the pick. They said he couldn't score.
Please, bitch.
They said he was a project without a position. The kid from the Salvation Army gym, the one whose mother worked 3 jobs so her children could walk into school with their heads up, is now a 2-time All-Star and the $270 million face of the Toronto Raptors. If you want more stories like this, where the real story starts long before the draft, subscribe to Off the Court.
Fucking crazy.
Bet Victor.
All right, bro.